This past February marked 17 years since the birth of Ring of Honor. In the time it's taken for the promotion to become eligible for its driver's license, ROH has proven itself to be one of the most influential and important wrestling promotions of our time. Today's major promotions owe a little bit of homage to the ambitious super indie, both for the talent cultivated inside its ring and the flavorful styles that have spun wrestling's evolutionary wheel. In all, 24 different men have risen to the top of Ring of Honor over the past 17 years. Here's where they all are now. Mason Ryan, Stevie Ray, Earthquake, Alundra Blaze, Norman Smiley, Zach Gowen, Bam Bam Bigelow, Ahmed Johnson, Tory Wilson, Buff, Bagwell, Robert Gibson, Dave Taylor, Terry Taylor, and Godfather's Holmes. Dwayne Gill, Adam Bomb, Michael Hayes, Cor Von, S.A. Rios, Jim Manai, the manager from Kai and Tai, Jim Powers, Francine, Jack Swagger, Mean Gene, Fat Chick Thriller, Duke the Dumpster, Oklahoma Manta. What happened to that wrestler? Some were main eventing, which leaves me lamenting. What's happened to that wrestler? Some since long forgotten, but their memories live on. Low-key. With lightning-quick kicks that blister skin and a menacing snarl that is almost his default glare, Low-key captured imaginations as one of the premier indie darlings at the turn of the century. In his 20-year career, the inaugural Ring of Honor champion made waves in various promotions including TNA, Pro Wrestling Noah, and even an ill-fated WWE run. Low-key still trades on his unique image and style as an indie standout, having recently dropped the MLW World Heavyweight title to filthy Tom Lawler. Xavier. Ring of Honor purists and longtime fans have debated the idea of Xavier as Ring of Honor champion, and time has shown him to be among the least memorable champions in company history. The prophecy-backed Xavier was a fundamentally solid wrestler, if a bit dry when it came to personality. Xavier was used infrequently in ROH in the few years after losing the belt, and faded into relative obscurity. The real-life John Gyrus took up MMA earlier this decade, and his last wrestling match of note occurred in October 2016. Samoa Joe. If you ever wonder why so many fans clamour for Joe to reign supreme as WWE champion in 2019, just watch his dominant run as Ring of Honor champ of nearly 2 years. Joe's 645-day reign at the top of Ring of Honor's food chain saw memorable defenses, including highly acclaimed matches against CM Punk in 2004. Joe's kept busy ever since, jumping to WWE after a decade-long run with TNA. Today, the Samoan submission machine plies his trade on Monday Night Raw. Austin Aries. The greatest man that ever lived perpetrated what might be the greatest upset that ever occurred when he slayed the Samoan monster at Final Battle 2004. Aries would treat the belt as a legitimate world title, defending it in Canada, Mexico, and Austria during his 6 months with the Gold. In recent times, Aries wrestles independently. He made his mark on both WWE and TNA, holding the world title several times in the latter, before apparently departing the company after the 2018 Bound for Glory. CM Punk. Punk's victory over Aries at Death Before Dishonor 3 stunned fans, as word was out that the ROH cornerstone was leaving for WWE after that night. A gracious, teary-eyed Punk gave way to a tyrannical arsehole version of the same man who vowed to bring the belt with him to the big time. Since then, Punk developed an entrenched personality cult with wrestling fans who still long for his presence even after his 2014 retirement. Today, Punk serves as commentator for Cage Fury Fighting Championships, having made his debut in December 2018. James Gibson. During a 1-year window between WWE stints, everyone's favourite redneck messiah hit up both New Japan and Ring of Honor, capturing the top belt in the latter by solving the Punk problem. The man we know better as Jimmy By God Noble dropped the belt 5 weeks later en route to re-signing with WWE. Noble retired as a full-time wrestler in 2009, though he would wrestle sporadically into 2015 as one half of the bumbling J&J Security. Today, Noble is a high-ranking WWE producer and can still be seen breaking up fights to this day. BRYAN Danielson. For 15 months and through a staggering 38 title defenses, the man we know better as Daniel Bryan embodied the spirit of Ring of Honor. Once thought of as too small for contemporary mainstream wrestling, Danielson's form-perfect science and genuine emotion made him into one of the most exciting figures in all of wrestling. You don't have to look far to see what Bryan's up to these days. After dropping his carbonless WWE Championship at WrestleMania 35 to Kofi Kingston, he soon became one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Team Champions. Homicide. At the same time that Homicide was living and dying with Tag Team Champions LAX down in TNA, the Notorious 187 was ending the 15-month reign of Bryan Danielson at Final Battle 2006 in Homicide's native New York. His reign lasted less than 2 months, and shortly after, Homicide had to give his farewell to the promotion due to his TNA contract status after Ring of Honor signed their own pay-per-view deal. Now in his early 40s, Homicide remains active, including in Impact Wrestling, where he and former LAX partner Hernandez battled current LAX members Santana and Ortiz in a lengthy feud. Takeshi Morishima. The monstrous Morishima captivated Ring of Honor crowds throughout 2007 with brawls that bordered on attempted murder. The following year, Morishima won the first of 3 Pro Wrestling Noah Global Honored Crowns from Misawa and spent the rest of his career in Noah before retiring in 2015 due to what he later termed a bad physical and mental state. Morishima is currently attempting a comeback, though he had to pull out of an October 2018 match due to requiring foot surgery. Nigel McGuinness. Whether he was holding the Ring of Honor Pure Championship for a whopping 350 days, or the promotion's top belt for over 18 months, the second longest reign ever behind Samoa Joe's, McGuinness wowed fans with his evolutionary technical wrestling and natural charisma. McGuinness seemed destined for bigger things, and a 2009 feud with Kurt Angle in TNA demonstrated his potential. Unfortunately, his career was hampered in 2010 after a positive test for hepatitis B, and he would formally retire from the ring the following year. Today, McGuinness keeps busy as a WWE broadcaster, commentating on 205 Live, Main Event, NXT, and NXT UK. Jerry Lynn. Age be damned, the new effing show was 45 years old when he ended McGuinness's seemingly eternal reign in April 2009, making him the only individual to have held the Ring of Honor World title and the actual promotion version of the ECW World title. His reign would last barely 2 months, but the always underrated Lynn proved that he still had it, even in his 40s. Lynn retired from the ring in 2013 and today works as a coach for All Elite Wrestling. Tyler Black. After going to a 60-minute draw with champion ARIES at Final Battle 2009, Black earned himself a rematch for the 8th anniversary show, in which he needed only 22 minutes to capture the title. Also captured was the eye of WWE, as Black would sign with the company 6 months into his title reign, before dropping it the following month. Black, like a number of other names on this list, remains highly visible in the world of professional wrestling as Seth Rollins, and is the current Universal Champion. Roderick Strong. After 7 years of tolling his way through ROH and Generation Next and the No Remorse Corps, the messiah of the backbreaker finally got his moment at Glory by Honor 9 when he defeated the outgoing Tyler Black for the gold. Strong remained with the promotion for nearly 6 years after the fact, ending a 13-year run in the summer of 2016. In a sentence that you'll hear more than once in this list, Strong is currently a member of the Undisputed Era on the NXT brand, where he is a former 2-time tag team champion. Eddie Edwards. The usually understated Edwards, well, before his kendo stick fetish was fully fleshed out, became the first man to complete Ring of Honor's Triple Crown of World, Television, and Tag Team titles when he defeated Strong in March 2011. In fact, the man known as Die Hard is currently the only person that has won both Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling Triple Crowns. Edwards is still with Impact to this day, having signed a multi-year extension in February 2019, while also working a heavy independent schedule and also with Pro Wrestling Noah. Davey Richards. Edwards' American Wolves tag partner had the honor of ending his reign at Best in the World 2011, beginning his own 10.5-month run as the face of Ring of Honor. Richards would reform the Wolves with Edwards months after losing the belt, and the two would carry on their partnership into TNA, where Richards performed until leaving in the summer of 2017. After departing Impact Wrestling, Richards, a trained paramedic, announced intentions to become a doctor and took all of 2018 off to pursue his studies and to recover from knee surgery. Kevin Steen. The unremittingly brutal force of nature that was Steen killed, and killed some more en route to ploughing through Richards at the 2012 Border Wars event in Toronto. From there, Steen held the gold for close to a year himself, defeating the likes of El Generico, Jay Lethal, Eddie Kingston, and Rhino along the way. A little more than a year after dropping the belt, Steen finished up in Ring of Honor and was WWE bound, adopting the name Kevin Owens. After a 5-month injury layoff, Owens re-emerged on SmackDown in March 2019 in the unlikely role of a babyface, but that didn't last for long. Take that, Kofi. Jay Briscoe. The ROH lifer captured the gold from Steen on WrestleMania 29 weekend in 2013 and seemed to be poised for a lengthy reign with the belt, but he then had to vacate it in July of that year after filming injury angles. He and brother Mark left the company after the reported expiration of their contracts that June, which followed some controversial comments made by Jay in the month prior. Jay remains with Ring of Honor to this day and captured the gold a second time in September 2014. Today, he and brother Mark are still a steady duo, recently dropping the promotion's tag team belts to Villain Enterprises. Adam Cole. The beneficiary of the Briscoe vacancy was 24-year-old upstart Cole, who defeated Michael Elgin in a tournament final at Death Before Dishonor 11 to win the belt. Cole would end up becoming to date the only 3-time holder of the belt, last reigning with it in March 2017. Shortly thereafter, Cole ended up in NXT as the leader of the Undisputed Era, winning the ladder match to determine the inaugural NXT North American champion, and remains at the forefront of the developmental group. Michael Elgin. Elgin may have fallen short in the tournament final against Cole, but he would capture the championship later on at the 2014 Best in the World. Elgin reigned for only 2.5 months before losing the belt back to the unbeaten Briscoe that September. He finished up with Ring of Honor late in 2016 and has since filled his portfolio with many trips to New Japan, as well as matches in CMLL, IWA Mid-South, and even recently popped up in Impact. Jay Lethal. Lethal wagered his television title against Briscoe's World Championship and came away with both at the 2015 Best in the World event. From there, Lethal became the first man to pass 1 year as champion since McGuinness, holding the gold for 14 months until Cole regained it in August 2016. In June 2018, Lethal captured the ROH World Championship for a second time and has since passed Joe with the most combined days as Ring of Honor's top title holder before dropping the title to Matt Taven. Kyle O'Reilly. There was about a 7-month stretch in 2016 to 17 where Ring of Honor's world champions could have been classified as the undisputed champs. O'Reilly defeated eventual NXT ally Cole in December 2016, ending Cole's 105-day reign with the gold before ceding it back to him at Wrestle Kingdom 11. O'Reilly's loss to Cole in the Tokyo Dome coincided with the end of his time with Ring of Honor, as an expanded tour of the Indies preceded his NXT debut in July 2017. O'Reilly remains with the brand today as he, Cole, Strong, and Bobby Fish await an all but certain call-up. Christopher Daniels. The fallen angel seemed like an everlasting bridesmaid, the reliable guy that could work wonders with the selected champion or the eventual go-to guy without actually being either one himself. That is, until Daniels finally brought home the big one at Ring of Honor's 15th anniversary show, upending Cole after an assist from Addiction teammate Frankie Kazarian. Along with Kaz and fellow SoCal Uncensored third member Scorpio Sky, the trio will ply their trade in the upstart All Elite Wrestling after leaving Ring of Honor this past December. Cody Rhodes. 13 months after acquiring his WWE release, essentially betting on himself, Rhodes continued to make good with his newfound freedom, defeating Daniels at the 2017 Best in the World, adding another world title to his family's legacy. The win made Cody and Father Dusty the second father and son duo to hold world championships, following Fritz and Kerry Von Erich. Rhodes finished up with Ring of Honor this past December, alongside elite allies the Young Bucks and Hangman Page. Along with the Bucks, Rhodes is among the maiden talents of All Elite Wrestling and have been highly visible in the promotion's various functions and marketing. Dalton Castle. The eccentric and flamboyant Castle has become an undoubted crowd favourite due to his profound showmanship and over-the-top persona, but he complements those valuable assets with impressive in-ring ability. Castle defeated Rhodes for the title at the 2017 Final Battle, though his reign was sadly marred by several injuries that necessitated cancelling select matches. He would drop the belt to Lethal in June 2018 in a 4-way match before taking on an infrequent schedule in the months that followed. Today, Castle remains part of Ring of Honor, still flanked by his boys. And finally, the current champion, Matt Taven. He may have referred to himself as the real Ring of Honor champion for months in advance, but Matt Taven finally has the belt to back up his claim. This year's WrestleMania weekend provided a whole host of dramatic title changes, from Becky Lynch to Kofi Kingston. Ring of Honor joined the party at the co-branded MSG Super Show alongside New Japan, thanks to a triple threat ladder match. The leader of the kingdom saw off Marty Scurll and previous champion Jay Lethal to win the gold, finally realizing his self-proclaimed destiny.
Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can pledge to us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.